Dana, and right now what we're going to get into is the video I've been promising for months and months, the portion sizes. I know it's a big concern for people heading into the surgery. You know, how much can I eat? Am I going to get sick if I eat too much? Like, you know, how do I know what to do? I know that every center is different, but my center, Toronto Western Hospital, had very specific guidelines, so it was pretty easy to follow. And like I've mentioned before, I haven't had a lot of issues eating anything. So I think in the very beginning I had a tough time with cottage cheese, and I tried a couple times and it just didn't sit right, and it just didn't feel good. So I kind of walked away from it, and I haven't tried it again, but you know what? I bet I could now, because now there's basically nothing I can't eat. I will say that now that I'm 3 months out, I can eat anything pretty much, except that bread, pasta, and rice, they all still sit a little heavy, so I can eat them, but only a really small amount, and I don't really feel good after, so I don't really bother with those. But it's not that I can't eat them. Like if I go to, you know, a restaurant and somebody gets a pasta dish, I can have a fork or two of theirs just to taste it, but anything beyond that's basically a waste. I just can't finish them anymore. Okay, so I'm going to try to make this organized and quick. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the tools that I used more in the early stages, but sometimes still now. Some of them I still use now. That help me to determine my portion sizes. So in the beginning, everything was basically measured in a tablespoon. You can see how small that is, right? Or a quarter cup serving. That was like a big deal to get a quarter cup. Anyway, so these were like basically what I was eating out of, and I specifically remember some family members being like, you know, there's babies and toddlers that can eat more than you. And that's true, but it really only lasts for the first couple of weeks. And then now I would say most of my portion sizes are more like this. So I get a half cup serving, and it's pretty big, as you can see. You guys know what a half cup looks like. And then the center has said to never go over a cup at one time. And I don't think I do. There's this thing that happens when you do try to indulge, you know, when you're really enjoying something and you're really eating it and you're thinking, you know, oh, I'm eating something that's good for me, so, you know, I can go for it. Maybe you're eating, you know, something that's a bit of a slider, something a little carby heavy, so you think you can get away with more, and you probably can. You shouldn't. But it doesn't happen right away. It's usually for me about 5 minutes past when I probably should have stopped eating. I get this feeling of pressure and pain, and it almost stops your breathing. You know, it almost makes you be like you feel so full, almost like you're about to burst, and it's literally the worst feeling on earth. And if you check out my video on the experiments that I did, I went ahead and broke a bunch of the rules that had been given to us by the hospital, because somebody had said to me, oh, you don't need to exercise, you don't need to follow those rules, you got a vertical sleeve, so now no matter what you do, you're going to lose weight. Let me tell you, my friends, that is not true. And I'll take you through all of the experiments that I did, how they make your body feel, and why you should probably never do 95% of them. Anyways, let's get back on track to the tools though. So the other things that you're going to use are baby spoons. It seems silly, but it was the easiest thing. My biggest thing after the surgery was that I had a hard time eating slowly, and I had a hard time doing, you know, they tell you to cut up your bites into eraser-sized pieces. That was pretty much impossible for me to like remember that. So using the baby spoon, you can only get so much on there at a time, and putting the baby spoon down in between times, that really helped. And then just as a reference, this is literally the size of bowl that I was using for the first month and a half or so. This could fit 2 tablespoons. And that was the absolute max that I ever had. So my peaches, my cottage cheese, my yogurt, everything was served in this little dish. And I've obviously moved up to slightly larger bowls now, but my plate's still the same. So I don't know if you can see, this is not quite a dinner plate, not quite a saucer plate. I was using a small saucer plate originally, and now, maybe if I put my hand over it, you can see that it's just my hand, just my palm will cover it. I think it's 7 inches, 6 inches, maybe like the inside. I don't know if you can see that it actually kind of goes in. But that's the serving size plate that I only eat on now. Like even when I go to my relatives' houses, they know that I appreciate it if I can get my dinner served on that size of plate so that I don't overeat, because you know, even though I've trained myself now on what my portions are, and I'm starting to really learn that feeling, you know, right before I get too full, I'm trying to undereat my sleeve. Sometimes you still forget, and you know, we're only human, so any reminders, visual cues that we can give ourselves, I'm totally for. Now, speaking of cues, this is an egg timer. If you don't have one, get one. It is the easiest way to remind yourself when to keep drinking water. I didn't really, at first, I couldn't even drink water when I was in the hospital. I couldn't get anything in. But as soon as I could, I started trying to drink out of those 1 ounce cups. And that really quickly got really annoying. I don't want to be constantly filling up these tiny little cups, and then the water gets warm, and I hate warm water. So I ended up just setting the timer and learning to drink. And actually, I was really lucky because I was with my parents for the first couple of weeks. And if it had been like 15 or 20 minutes since I had had a sip, they reminded me, and I am very thankful for that because it's something that I've, you know, kept up. The other thing that I have kept up, and you're all going to need this magical tool right here is going to be a lifesaver. It's your food scale. Use it. There's even sometimes now where, you know, I think that, oh yeah, I've been doing this for long enough. I definitely know, you know, how much chicken or how much beef or whatever, but different cuts weigh different amounts, and honestly, it's just easier, just weigh it, and that way too you can avoid that issue I was talking about where you eat too much and you hurt yourself, because with that scale, you know, okay, I can eat 3 ounces of dense protein, and I'm getting this, you know, amount of protein, 25 grams or whatever, and it's not hurting. So it's definitely worth it. Invest in the scale. Keep track of everything. One thing I definitely learned is when I don't track my food, I don't lose weight, which means even after all this training, months and months and months of doing it, I'm still human. I still make mistakes, and when I go off book, I do not lose weight. That's something to definitely keep in mind. So that's the tools I wanted to show you, and now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my protein powder. So I still make protein shakes. I have 2 that I used to use in the beginning. I had this one, this Natural Whey, Body Logic's Natural Whey. It's, for the 1 scoop, it's 120 calories, 1 gram of fat, 3 grams of carbs, 1 grams of sugar, and 24 grams of protein. Super, super good. It's French vanilla flavor, so that was good. And then in the beginning, you'll also know that you need to find some unflavored protein powder. So this is the one that my mom actually picked up for me. It's fantastic. It doesn't have any taste at all. For its 1 scoop was 130 calories. The protein was 31 grams, which is absolutely phenomenal. There's no fat, only 1 gram of carbs, no sugar, and so it's amazing. It's super good. Actually, I should probably get back to using this a little bit more because it really is phenomenal. And so this is the one that I would put on all my food and all that sort of thing to help build up the protein when I wasn't able to eat enough dense protein on my own. Now, I am not a breakfast person. I never have been a breakfast person, and so part of this transformation was that I'd have to change those kind of things. So sometimes I'll wake up and I'll grab a banana and something else, but it's really hard for me to get my protein in first thing in the morning. And honestly, after a while, I was kind of sick of vanilla shakes. So I have a friend that I've mentioned to you before that works with Chris Powell's company, Vima. And he had given me a couple of things to try out and a couple of things to substitute, you know, instead of doing the same old protein shakes and whatever. Now, this is my favorite one. It is the Body Chocolate Shake. It is a meal replacement, though. This isn't just a protein shake, okay? If you're going to get onto this, it's not going to be until later on in your journey, and you have to treat this as a meal because it's 230 calories and 27 carbs. Now, I know that that doesn't meet everybody's plan in terms of like what the hospital is telling you to do. So what I will say is that this is amazingly satisfying for me, and it works for me as my full breakfast. I don't have this and something else. If I have this, this is the only thing I'm having. In that same line, I was kind of getting sick of always having, all the time it was like chocolate or vanilla, strawberry, always really sweet flavors. And so I decided to give this product a chance. Now this one only has 120 calories, but it only has 20 grams of protein. And I think it actually has quite a few carbs in it as well. Yeah, 12 carbs. So it's actually not bad. And again, don't take this just because I'm saying I like it. Always check with your health professional. Always check to see what your hospital regulations are. But I'm 3 months out now and I needed a change, and this is a good way. Look how little this is. It's a great way for me to get 20 grams of protein, and it's mangosteen. It kind of tastes to me like mangoes. I love it. I'm addicted to this stuff now, and this is pretty much my breakfast every single morning. But I'll have this with maybe like a half a banana, or like a half an apple, that sort of thing, just to get a good balance in my breakfast. But yeah, this is a good solution for me for get away from the sweet, and it is no longer a matter of. What I should say is that it does have a tiny bit of carbonation, like. You can shake this and open it and it's not going to explode or anything, but it does have a bit of a fizz. So if you're not used to it, and especially when you're in your early stages, definitely don't do anything like this, because it may expand your tummy a little bit, put a little gas in there. It's such little, like you can see I'm shaking, it's half full. Nothing's happening. You can see it's like barely any there, but it does have a little tiny bit of fizz, so just be careful with that. Okay, so now what I'm going to talk to you guys about is the yogurt that I eat. This is the only yogurt that I eat. It's the Source Greek yogurt that has 50 calories and 2 times the protein. The reason I only eat this is because for 50 calories, I get 8 grams of protein, only 4 grams of sugar, and only 5 carbs. That is amazing for yogurt. It's the blue label if you're here in Ontario. Hopefully you guys have something similar. It's amazing. If you don't like Greek yogurt, I didn't really like Greek yogurt. I found it to be a bit too much for me. This one's amazing. It's super good. I would definitely recommend it 100%. The other 2 things that I use a lot are my mini Baby Bell Lights. These are, I think, 45 calories and like, I can't remember off the top of my head now, but they're really good. They're really satisfying too, like in the middle of the day. This is what I usually have as a snack. It's been working really good. And then the other thing I want to say is, in some of my other videos, I had really talked about the fact that I use a lot of the artificial sweetening juices, or sweetening, not juices, what are they called? The artificial, like the Mios and the Crystal Lights and all of that. And I kind of now am in a place where I'm trying to get away from that, and I'm trying to just use lemon in my water, just use lime, try to be a little bit more natural, because I started to have a bit of a reaction. Like I felt like maybe because there was such a buildup of the artificial stuff in my body that I was getting really sensitive to, I could really taste it, and I was really not liking it anymore. So I will say I still use the occasional sugar twin on some oatmeal or cream of wheat when I do have it. I don't use the whole packet even. I'll just use a sprinkle out of it. But beyond this, I'm really trying to stay away from the artificial stuff, because it was really getting to be a bit much. So I can see this video is getting pretty long, and I don't want it to be crazy. So what I'm going to do now is just take you guys through some pictures of some typical meal sizes, some portions, and I'm just going to throw them all up here. You guys can take a quick look. well, hopefully that was good, and hopefully, you know, it gives you an idea of the kind of snacks, you know, the Havarti, the olives, the turkey breast and Swiss cheese and Havarti cheese, apples, peanut butter, half the roast beef sandwich on a mini roll I think I showed you guys. So then the only last thing I want to show you guys is my before and after pictures. Now, it's not crazy dramatic. It's only been 3 months. So I hope you guys will have a little bit of understanding when you see that there's not been a crazy difference, but there has been some difference. I do see some toning. I see some less weight in my face and neck area and chest for sure, down in my abdomen and my legs. Hopefully you guys see it too. And as always, if you have any questions about anything you've seen in the video, let me know. And otherwise, I'll leave links to the other 2 videos I'm posting today. And other than that, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Have a great week. I'll see you later. Okay, bye-bye.